I do get phased sometimes. I have had in the past, I went through a phase where I was getting a lot of anxiety and panic attacks, and I had to work through all that because we're human in this human form, in this world, dealing with all kinds of things. And I went through a phase of being completely burned out just from living in this world and couldn't handle it. And so I had to regroup and reinvent myself, should I say. But what it is that keeps me going, and this is the part I really want to share with you, what keeps me going and allows me to stay centered is that I always take myself back to where I went when I had my near-death experience. Now, you don't have to have an NDE, a near-death experience, to practice this. And this is why I share what I share. I share it so that you don't have to go through what I went through. But one of the things that happens when you're aware of what happens when we die is that when you die, you not only lose your physical body, but you lose your race, your religion, your culture, your gender, your biology. You lose all of that. And what crosses over is just pure love, pure consciousness, pure God. Like, you can call it what you want, but it is just so pure. And this is the case for all of us. This is what crosses over. And this is when we are in this state of clarity where we understand why we did what we did. We understand what took us to this point in our lives. We can just see, oh my gosh, I did this and I shouldn't have done this. And so whenever people ask me, what are your views on whatever's happening, whatever is currently happening, of course, now we have this whole situation that we're talking about in the Middle East, but there's always something, even when people ask me in terms of a political situation here in the United States, like, when we're going through election time, and people are always asking me, so what do you think? What do you think? Or even when we were in COVID and people were divisive about which way to go, the one thing that always comes to mind is that when we take sides and when we say, oh, you're part of the problem, you're part of the problem, and people do that and they become angry and they take sides. The one thing I always like to remind people is that when you die, there are no sides. There are no sides. Our soul, so when we cross over, literally, whether you are on the left, on the right, whether you are whatever religion,
Jewish,
whether you
or right, Muslim or whatever. It
yes,
matter.
Jewish, Muslim, Hindu, whether you're male, female, transgender, gay, straight, we all at the end of our lives cross over as pure essence, pure souls. And the questions that really matter is, did you love enough? Did you feel loved? Did you connect enough? Were you lonely? Did you reach out enough? And another piece to this is, at the end of the day, all of us, we are consciousness, we are energy being expressed through this physical body. But at our energy or consciousness level, as I said, we're all connected. So we can touch other people's energies. We are in touch with them, but we don't realize it. So when we are watching and listening to the news and when we're getting angry, what we're actually doing when we get angry and we get divided and we make people choose sides and we have these heated discussions of anger and we decide people are our enemies, we are actually adding to the strife and to the angry soup. What we need to do is we need to actually consciously send love. Even to the most atrocious people, we need to send them love because that's what they need, not more hate or anger.
Let's take a moment and send everyone love. Let's do it. Let's do what we did at the beginning of this conversation. Okay, so we have a question. I'm going to go ahead and show this. This is from Rachel Elizabeth. What is the best advice to raise your vibration during these times when there's so much fear in the collective?
Yes. So about staying high vibe in turbulent times. So first of all, if you are feeling that your vibe has really dropped because you're being affected by everything that's happening outside, the turbulence that's happening outside, you need to pull yourself away. It's not selfish to pull yourself away and take care of yourself when things are getting too much for you, when things in the world are getting too much. Remember that just by allowing yourself to be usurped by all of it and getting sucked into all of it and becoming drained, you're not helping people by doing that either. The better option is to pull yourself out and then do what it takes for you to actually even almost block out the outside world. I do that sometimes. I have to. And the irony is that the more you can pull yourself away to recharge your batteries and find your tribe. And I cocoon myself only with people who help me to raise my vibe. We raise each other's vibe. I create a cocoon. We talk about things that are really high vibe, like what we're going to do in the world and the events that we're going to do, like this upcoming event in January. And I just talk about things with my little tribe, and they talk about things. Oh, we go dancing. Last night, I actually went dancing. We went salsa dancing with a couple of people. So, yeah. So we create our joy even in the turbulence, and we live in this little bubble. And here's the irony that I was trying to get to. By doing that, I am actually able to help more people. And the way we help people is, one, is we can uplift the people around us. And number two is our energy is contributing to the whole. So if you have to pull yourself away from what three-dimensional, five-sensory humans called reality, then please do so, because there is a whole other reality. And that is the reality that your soul is living, where this is only one small snapshot of the trajectory of your soul's entire path.
Oh, it's beautiful. It was so perfect. So we have a little bit of a tough question.
Okay.
Okay, so Nita, you've asked 2 questions. I'm going to choose your first questions, and it might be Netta, I'm not sure. So Netta is in the affected areas of the war. We are sending you so much love.
Yes, we are.
She says, how can she be optimistic? It is absolutely tough. How can I shine my light right now? And we're sending you so much peace and love and support. Please feel that.
Yeah, that is really a difficult situation you're in, and my heart really goes out to you. And we really would want you to stay safe, you and your family members. And I know that you're right there in the thick of that energy, and that must be really challenging. What I would like to say to you, and I hope this doesn't sound trite or contrived or anything, but I'm just drawing on my experience from the other side. There are no accidents. There's a reason why you're there right now. And even if you don't know the reason, please know that there is a reason, and it will probably become apparent to you much later after it's all over. But in some way, even if it's a small way, but in some way, your presence there is contributing to something. I can already tell by your message that you really do have like a kind heart. You're there, you want to uplift people. That's why you asked that question. Like, you want to stay strong, and you will probably want to stay strong for the people around you. In some way, you are probably already doing more than you think you are, or than you realize. That's what I feel just from your question. And remember, it's no accident that you're there. So thank you. Thank you for your question, and please stay safe.
And keep holding space, seeing the intention of, I remember.
Of a resolution.
Yeah, of a resolution. I remember when my mom was here in physical, and there was a conflict going on, and I can't remember what it was. It was something that was happening in the world. And she would do this meditation where she would say, she would have everyone visualize anyone who was holding a weapon, seeing them put them down, actually put the weapons down and walk away from them,
Wow.
actually come together in a place, like see them for who they truly are, which is, of course, as we know, light and love and consciousness, and let that shine through in a prevalent way than the ego. So
I love that. That's a beautiful vision.
yeah, Mom.
I know. Oh.
Okay, so I'm going to pick one more question, and this is they're all very good questions. But the next question we have is from Jade. Jade, I hope that you're still here. And Jade is asking, how do I create energetic boundaries and not pick up other people's anxieties, fears, etc.? I love this question. Good questions.
They're all great questions. I love this question. Okay, so I'm going to flip this question on its head. Probably I'll answer it different from most other people. People accuse me of being a bit of a rebel, but I'm going to say that there's a problem in the question itself, but a lot of people ask it. It's not about you, the asker of the question, but a lot of people ask this question. So the problem is in believing that you need to protect yourself from other people's energies. So the focus becomes, they have an energy, a toxic energy, I don't want any part of it, so I have to protect myself from it. I want you to flip it and think in terms of, how do I expand my energy so that my energy uplifts other people so they entrain to me? Because from the previous question, how do I block other people's energy? There is an assumption that their energy is going to bring me down. There is an assumption I am so weak that I am going to entrain to an energy I don't want to a darker, more toxic or whatever energy. No, let's flip it and let's say, I am going to actually, instead of focusing on boundaries or blocking your energy, I am going to shift my focus to, how do I expand my energy? How do I raise my vibe? And work on that, on expanding your energy, creating a marinade, hanging out with people who are your tribe, and finding things to do that bring you joy. Listen to music, go out in nature. So your focus, instead of becoming a boundary, your focus becomes expanding your energy. And then other people entrain, they're like, I want what she has. I wonder what she's drinking. And so they all start to align to you, and you become surrounded by high vibe people because they've aligned to you. In order to hang out with you, they have to raise their vibe to your level.
Oh, can we get like an amen for that one? So much wisdom happening here. I can tell you've been teaching for days, because it's like just coming trippingly off the tongue. It's just like downloading. You're just channeling all this amazing. An amen. Thank you, Joyce. Yes, Rachel Elizabeth, an amen. A hands up. That was so beautifully stated. That was perfect. For instead of us protecting our energy from out there, we are the energy.
Yeah.
Watch out, right?
We are the energy that we're creating. We are, and we always look outward. And I used an analogy earlier today because I did a video earlier as well, and where somebody was asking me a question, and then this came to me that a lot of times what we do instinctively do, it's almost like looking in the mirror and not liking what you see, and then trying to change the mirror, like going there and painting out parts of yourself that you don't like, instead of realizing, wait a minute, it's in here. I just got to change myself and I'll see something different there.
Yes. Oh, that was so good, you guys.